everyone, Mature Simmer here. So, need to get the pigs fed this morning. They're definitely very close to empty. So let me get the crampy and we'll start running some feed over. Whoa. A little bit of lag there, that's for sure. Back off so the truck isn't that loud. But yeah, I'm down to about 1,000 liters, so you know, I could probably get another 4 or 5 hours out of it. But I came in here to check to try to see what I needed to do for server time sync, and just doing my normal checking up on things around the farm, and that's what I discovered. So you can see we have 1,041 liters here. Alright, so at this point, just quickly run some numbers. We're running at about 300 liters an hour now for some reason. Not quite sure why, so a little bit faster than normal, because we've really gotten about 4.5 months off of this batch. Let's see, we're at 500, we can go to 17,000, so we need about 6,500 of sorghum. I'm in the wrong bin again, I did this before. I need about 16,500 of sorghum. Again, obviously we've got plenty of that now that we have gone ahead and harvested some more. Alright, it's a little bit extra, but it's not a terrible amount, maybe an extra 100. Trying to remember, I did hook up my cables, yes. So, just trying to make sure I also don't miss my sync time. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. It's coming up on 9 a.m. actually, so server's about an hour back, which, you know, isn't bad. Which we seem to be losing every day, an hour to usually an hour. You know, it's very rarely 2 hours. It's usually an hour and a fraction at most, so sometimes maybe it gets to an hour and a half. And typically, I'm assuming this is the same dynamic as we had in FS19. It's just the short delay when users are signing in that we run into. Drifting a little too far over. Oops. There we go. Alright. So we'll get that dumped in. And then we need 8,500 of the next one of grain. So yeah, we're just 76 over. So 8,300 just to be safe. That'll be of our wheat. So yeah, just because it's fall, we're you know, and it's late fall technically, last day of fall, and then we're into winter, and then we'll be wrapping up year 87 here before we know it. But it's just dark. It's 7:30 in the morning still. So all right. So about 8,200. Again, we'll wanna. All right, there we go. That's probably almost as accurate as I can get. So I think we're gonna be within like 20 or 30 liters, so that's pretty great. Can't ask for a better amount there. Try to not go out quite as far. Kind of keep having this issue each time. But yeah, nothing really new happening on the FSN front. Obviously, it's just been, you know, I think a day since I think I was on here yesterday doing the sorghum harvest. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I don't recall. But either way, it's not been terribly long. Actually, I think what I was doing is, yes, I guess the thing I do need to share is I did take some pigs to market. So I think, but that ended up happening the same night I harvested. So whatever day that was, it's just, you know, I didn't record it, didn't show it, you know, but took 24 pigs. We now have another 12 available. So I may go ahead and do that. I don't know. I'll have time because I've got about 25 minutes till I need to time sync, and so I'll either have to jump back on the server, or the preference is somewhat, if I'm already here, then it's just something I do before I leave. And this is not going to take me 25 minutes unless I really screw things up. Alright, so protein, my soybeans, this again, 6,800, so basically 6,000. So just be careful there. Alright. Do that, and then we'll have some potatoes from the root crop cellar. And the pigs will be good into the start of year 88 for sure. So yeah, not entirely certain what I want, if I want to track any more food data, because it's just a little easier if I'm not worrying about it. But you know, as I try to plan out harvests, I mean, again, I'd have to probably be the most conservative I can. So now that I have this data of 4.5 months, you know, I probably need to stick to that. And you know, it might be 4 3/4 or whatever, because again, like I said, I could probably get 3 to 4 more hours before these guys were empty. And I just don't know if, you know, maybe one was over the winter, and so it's a little, they eat a little less over the winter. One was, you know, now we're over the summer, it's hotter, they eat more. Or maybe it just varies a bit. But yeah, let me go get my potatoes, and then yeah, I'll run those 12 pigs over, because I'm still doing hope against hope that some Berkshires might pop out before everything else fills up, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. I think I'm just going to end up with one type of, whoops, this is where I fill. Just so used to dropping potatoes off that I wasn't doing that. What is happening? Why is, there we go. I keep switching the direction. Alright, 1,700. So basically I need 1,600. Yeah, this is, yeah, you can't just, like, once it's filling, it keeps letting you switch, which is weird. So this one's a little more challenging to get the amounts that work. Because basically what happens in the regular silo is, like, once I pick the crop type the first time, then I can just hit the R key and it'll basically on off, like a quick toggle, so I can just hit, you know, tap R twice quickly, and that will then go ahead and start filling and stop filling. And I almost started to drive around to the other side of the pig enclosure. So I've clearly lost my bearings. So yeah, non-farm sim related, just sim related, you know, on the channel and so forth, is I'm kind of in a holding pattern. I shouldn't say still, because I actually don't know that I've shared this in any video anywhere on the on the channel yet. 144 came out. That obviously, as we knew, would break some mods, so maps and so forth is, you know, my biggest thing right now. In theory, everything else I'm using in Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator are still operating according to things I've seen on the site, and that's really just the economy mod and, you know, other things that are just visual mods. So but I'm waiting for maps on both ends, so definitely have a itch to do some truck videos, but it's been 2-3 weeks since I've been able to do anything. And I'm getting to the point where I may make a decision on American Truck Simulator that I'm just dropping the Mexico map, because that's kind of the last main thing I'm waiting on. And it's not like the developers have dropped a note. There's just been people putting things on their page where we tend to get the mod from, saying, hey, please update this for 144, and as one might expect, since it's for Mexico, the comments are all in Spanish, so it's a bunch of Hispanic folks asking, which I would think would encourage rather than discourage some activity, but it's been crickets as far as I can tell. I know enough Spanish, and for the Spanish I don't know, I can certainly use Google Translate if somebody posts something I can't discern. But I know enough Spanish that I can see they're just saying, please for 144, please for 144, so I know they're just asking to update. You know, and there hasn't been a comment that says something different, so no developers have appeared. And then I think there's one other little, like, state mod, like Vermont or something, that technically hasn't been updated, but that has like 3 cities in it, and, you know, if I need to live without it, it'll be okay. You know, and Mexico will be okay too, because it's just a challenge to drive in that space. But anyway, it's way more detail on the farming videos than we need, but my point being, I've been doing kind of nothing but Farming Simulator, and I'm definitely getting to that point that I've mentioned to folks here, that, you know, kind of all the same thing makes the mature simmer a dull boy. Gone around same way I always do when I go get pigs. I don't know why I don't go the other way, because I've got to back in there, but I'm always then coming in here and then having to get myself back to the door instead of coming in like I did with the food and just, you know, doing the same thing. I mean, it works either way. It's not catastrophic or anything, but it's just strange how we get in habits and we just do them. You know, and obviously if I was thinking a little more specifically, it might change, but you can see here we've got, you know, I think 12 landrace, yep. So we're going to move those to the trailer, and then the Berkshire are part of the oldest group, but from a reproduction standpoint, I think they're not doing so high on the ladder. So if we take a look at that real quick before I pull away, you can see they're at 50%. And, oh, well, maybe this will work. So maybe the group I just took was at 75, because there was a group that was at 75. So yeah, maybe we'll hang on to some Berkshires. So I have a little bit of variety in the pig pen. But yeah, as far as the other things I typically do, I've certainly been doing some work, poking along on the single-player series I have in Farming Simulator 2 a little bit, because the well's running a little dry on some of those episodes. So I try to stay ahead of things so that in case something comes up for me in real life that suddenly knocks me out for, even up to a week or two, that I've got the pipeline full. So, making these kind of start of June is what the real time is right now. But I've already got stuff. Well, for FSN, I've actually got videos, I think, till basically the end of July at this point already published. Or uploaded, I guess. I suppose published means they're visible to the public, so they're staged on the site and scheduled to go through the end of July already. So I'm basically not quite 2 months ahead on FSN, but that's just because there's so much work and so much stuff going on here that the amount of content is really easy. The other things on Farming Simulator, the Survival series and Risu Forest, and the VIP series in Riverview. This is I am going totally the wrong way. I'm going to tip over on top of this. Did not realize there was that much of a hill over there. Alright. Now I was just going to, I was delivering slurry, and I was so excited that I remembered the road, and I'm like, this isn't even where I'm supposed to be going. Wow. So, not a good morning. I'm just, I guess, again, subconsciously making sure that I spend 30 minutes on the server doing something, but that hopefully won't be the case because I still have almost 15 minutes, and it should not take me 15 minutes to get to the animal dealer and back, even with this snafu. So, just about where we turned the wrong way. For those of you, you may have been screaming at the screen when I did that and turned left and said, "Where are you going?" But now I know where I'm going. I just hope I don't forget on the way there. But yeah, the VIP series on Riverview is also one, I'm working on. And of those, I would say I'm really enjoying the VIP Order Manager. If that is not something you have seen, explored, it's in one of my mods worth noting. I'll pop it up here, and and then you can go look for the VIP Order Manager series, which at this point I'm targeting. I basically put those out and have those publish once a week on Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern. So just kind of a few hours after the normal 7 a.m. Eastern that I've established as when things appear on the channel in general, that I try to at least have some kind of content there. Obviously, if I've got additional content, I just either throw it out there when I'm done editing it, but with things like series that people might be getting interested in watching, I try to establish somewhat of a regular cadence where the survival challenge shows up toward the weekend. So it's either a Friday or Saturday, and to not mess up the every other day Farming Simulator video cadence I've had going for quite a while. That's why it alternates between Friday or Saturday, because obviously there are an odd number of days in the week, and every other day is an even number. So I can't publish, say, the same day without disrupting that cycle. So since it's in the 7 a.m. drop cycle, that's what I do. So it's in essence one a week for the survival series as well. Just think of it as a weekend drop, early weekend, so it's either Friday or Saturday. Alright, light bulb just turned on, got a little brighter very quickly. So hit that point in the morning. But yeah, field 10 is up for auction again. That's one thing I need to take a peek at before I leave, is I think I've done that one. Otherwise, I may have a little bit more work from my mayor side to get that field cleaned up and plowed. Nobody's bidding on it, but it's actually actively bidding right now, but no takers. All right, so we have sold those, and we're slowly gaining some money. Beginning to think I'm allergic to the animal dealer. Literally every time I pull up and sell pigs and get ready to pull away, I have to cough. So that was what the delay was there, with me just suddenly stopping talking. Not that I don't do that normally, but it's just a weird thing. It's like literally I'm talking, and then suddenly, as I pull up to the animal dealer, I realize I need to cough. I try to finish my sentence, and then I'm muting so that you don't have to listen to the cough coming through, which I'm sure would be extremely loud and unpleasant. Alright, so at least we got that done, and I don't see any really inexpensive pigs on the list. So looks like Fire planted some corn. Or, well, I'm wondering if that's ready to be harvested. I wonder if he's going to end up having that wither, now that I think about it, because corn does have a later harvest, but I don't know that it gets this late. So hopefully he can get on and get that off. He hasn't asked for any help. Sometimes the FMs do. It's really become less frequent. I think the FMs that normally do that are. So it's possible Swede over up by us, he may be doing a lot more in the future. So he had some fun in real life that's going to, I say fun, so very sarcastically. I mean, he injured himself. You know, he's okay. He's able to do certain things, but he's not able to work, is what he's been told for like 6 to 9 months. So that will give him a lot of time sitting around that he's indicated, yeah, he can certainly devote to some FSN goodness. So he may suddenly go a little crazy here for the next, I don't know, 10 game years, 10, 15 game years. So we'll see how that all goes next door. Because that's why he hasn't been on recently, is he's been getting that taken care of, and that has put him out of commission. So alright, so we've got this done. Trying to figure out, I guess I've generally somewhat tried to figure out what I'm planting next. That'll go down in the southern end, because obviously we just planted in the northern. Almost like maybe I do sunflowers, because I know I can do something with the pigs, but I don't know. It's going to sound very unmanly, but I find the crop cute. I just like the little sunflower heads, and like how they rotate around and face wherever the sun is on the map. I think, you know, they've done a great job with those in Farming Simulator. I've always liked the sunflowers. But the challenge is, again, if I do that, I'm going to have to plow. So I may not do that this time. I may do something else. So I'm kind of hemming and hawing on what I'm going to plant is what I'm trying to say, and just not saying it. I haven't made a decision on what I'm going to do yet. And so that will come. But at this point, I've got this work done. As I said, oh, that bush actually is stopping me. Interesting. It's always fun, because sometimes it's like, yeah, I think things don't change, but I think if they, like, actually will change foliage color like that, it'll do that. I think I'm going to back in here, because slurry's almost full. I'm probably going to do that in the next day or two. Get a load of that away. But nice thing is, you know, even with what we've been doing, like, we've been making money. I haven't had to buy any supplies. So we're up above 1.2 million again. I have not transferred any money in from the web. So it's been good. So I'm going to let you go. I'll do the other things off camera. You don't need to see me sync the server when the time comes, and we're actually like 6-7 minutes early. But I will see you next time.